It's barely 5:30 in the morning, fog's hugging the coastline like an old friend, and I'm wrestling a net full of cod on my beat-up fishing boat's deck. The salty dawn, when I hear the sharp clack of high heels on my Dock Me private dock. Mind you, I turn around, and there's this posse of 7 strangers, dressed like they just stepped out of a boardroom and got lost on their way to a yacht club, staring at me like I'm some kind of trespassing raccoon. Leading the pack is a woman, mid-50s, blonde hair sprayed stiff as a board, clutching a leather folder like it's her lifeline, her voice cutting through the salt air like a foghorn. "You, drop that filthy mess and explain why you're squatting on this property." I set the net down, careful not to lose a single fish, and wipe my hands on my jeans, already crusted with salt and grime. "Squatting," I say, squinting at her. The sun just started to burn through the haze, lighting up the $10 million Cliffside house behind Mimi House, all sleek glass and weathered cedar, perched like it grew out of the rock itself, overlooking the Pacific from Crescent Cove. "I'm not squatting. I own this place. Bought it fair and square 3 weeks ago." The group bursts out laughing, like I just told the world's worst joke, and the woman Eleanor Grayson, she introduces herself. President of the Crescent Cove Homeowners Association, looks at me like I'm something she scraped off her designer shoe. "Own it. You, with that rust bucket," she says, waving at my boat like it personally offends her. "This estate is a community treasure, promised to us by its previous owner, Marcus Tate. You're leaving. Today." I feel a cold knot tighten in my gut. Not because I'm scared, but because I've only been in this house 3 days, boxes still stacked in the foyer, and already I'm facing a lynch mob in tailored suits. Eleanor's got her posse 3 guys in matching blazers, 2 younger women glued to their phones, and an older dude checking his watch like he's late for a golf game, all nodding along like she's preaching gospel. "Look," I say, keeping my voice steady, "I don't know what you think is going on, but I've got the deed, the title, everything. You're on my property right now." Eleanor's eyes narrow, and she pulls out a document, waving it like a victory flag. "This," she snaps, "is Marcus Tate's signed declaration, promising this house to the Crescent Cove Community Trust when he passed, which, as you surely know, was 6 months ago in a tragic boating accident." Her tone's so smug it could curdle milk, but I catch something in her eyes, something sharp, calculating, like she's playing a game she's won before. "Marcus never signed anything like that," I say quietly, and her face freezes. "Oh, and how would you know?" she sneers, looking me up and down, faded flannel, scuffed boots, hands still smelling of fish. "You knew him personally, did you?" I nod, feeling the weight of it settle over me. "Yeah, I did. Marcus was my friend." That shuts her up for a second, but only a second. She recovers fast, stepping closer, her perfume choking the sea air. "Well, then you'd know Marcus wanted this house to be a symbol of Crescent Cove's Prestigia Museum, a venue for our galas, not some fisherman's shack. You don't belong here. You're not Crescent Cove material." Her words hang there, heavy with venom, and one of her minions is recording it all, probably hoping to catch me losing it. I don't. Instead, I smile. "You called the cops yet?" Her smirk says it all. "Oh, they're on their way." Sure enough, 2 officers show up, picking their way across the slick dock. The lead, Sergeant Carter, a no-nonsense woman with a sharp gaze, looks like she's already tired of this circus. "We got a call about trespassing," she says, eyeing Eleanor's crew. Eleanor pounces, practically shoving her fake document in Carter's face. "This man's illegally occupying the Tate estate. He's got some ridiculous story about owning it." I hand over my papers, laminated, sealed tight against the saltwater, and watch as Carter reads them, her expression unchanging. "These look legit," she says finally. "County seal, filing numbers, dated 3 weeks ago. Mr. Ethan Caldwell." "That's me," I say. Eleanor's face goes beet red. Those are forged, she spits. There's no way someone like him could afford this. I lean in just a bit. Someone like me, huh? What's that mean exactly? She stammers, then doubles down. You know what I mean? Look at you, some scruffy fisherman, probably not even from around here. I nod, letting her dig her own grave. Born in Portland, actually, half Korean, half Scottish, if that's what you're fishing for. Carter cuts in, voice like steel. Ma'am, without a legal claim, you and your group are the ones trespassing. Mr. Caldwell, you want to press charges? I look at Eleanor, her posse shrinking back, suddenly fascinated by their shoes. Nah, I say. They're leaving. Right. Eleanor's glare could melt glass, but she gathers her dignity and storms off, tossing one last barb over her shoulder. This isn't over, Caldwell. I've run this HOA for 12 years. I've dealt with people like you before. As their cars peel out, Carter lingers, handing me her card. Watch yourself, she says. Grayson's got deep pockets and a long memory. She's trouble. I nod, pocketing the card. I've handled trouble before. Back on the salty dawn, I'm not just a fisherman, though. I love the work, the rhythm of the sea, the quiet it brings. Below deck, hidden behind nets and tackle, is gear most people would never guess at. Sonar that can map the ocean floor, magnetometers that could find a lost key in a kelp bed, computers that crunch data faster than most universities. 3 years ago, I was a maritime salvage specialist, working grueling contracts for big firms, until Marcus Tate hired me for a side project. He was chasing a legend, the Santa Rosa, a 17th century ship loaded with silver, lost off the Oregon coast. Marcus had his great-grandfather's journal, coded coordinates no one else could crack. We spent a year at sea, found her in a trench 50 miles out, and split the salvage rights $40 million, half and half. But Marcus gave me more than money. Over late-night whiskeys on this very dock, he taught me about power, about reading people, about the games the rich play to stay rich. And he warned me about Eleanor Grayson. She's a shark, he'd said, eyes on the horizon. Uses the HOA to bully anyone who doesn't fit her perfect little vision of Crescent Cove. She's run good people out of their homes, fines, lawsuits, you name it. When Marcus died his sailboat flipping in calm waters, no investigation, just a quick accident. Ruling, I got an email he'd set to send if he didn't check in weekly. If you're reading this, Ethan, Eleanor got me. Evidence is in the safe under my study floor. Combo's the day we found the Rosa. Don't let her take the house. So I bought it through a shell company to keep it quiet, moved in over the weekend, hoping to settle in before Eleanor noticed. Fat chance. She's got eyes everywhere. That afternoon, I find the safe, punch in the date 09-12-20, and pull out a stack of papers that hit like a gut punch. Photos of Marcus's boat, hull tampered with, clear as day. Bank records showing Eleanor wiring money to a guy named Victor Kane. A contract dated a month before Marcus's death for a luxury condo project on 4 waterfront lots, including this house. I'm still reeling when my phone buzzes. Unknown number, local code. You're making enemies, Caldwell. Be careful. Probably one of Eleanor's board. Someone with a shred of guilt. Then I hear engines, not cars, but boats, 3 of them, roaring up to my dock. A guy in a crisp new uniform steps out, flashing a badge that looks like it came from a costume shop. Vincent Cole, Marina Authority, he says, clipboard in hand. Your boat's in violation of legal mooring. Unsafe condition, you name it. Fines start at $5,000 a day. I pull out my phone, start recording. Show me your license, I say. He fumbles. Hand me a card with a typo in Marina and a fake state seal. Funny, I say, zooming in. This looks a lot like the guy in Eleanor's holiday photos, her cousin Vincent, right? Same nose, same squint. His face goes pale. And there's no Crescent Cove Marina Authority. This dock's private. So, fraud, Impersonation felonies, last I checked. Want to leave? Or should I call Carter? He's gone before I finish the sentence. His boat's tearing off into the fog. Next morning, Eleanor's back, this time with a mob 20 neighbors, some angry, some just confused, gathered on my lawn. She's got a megaphone, voice bouncing off the cliffs. Ethan Caldwell's turning this estate into a fish factory. He's dragging our property values into the mud. I step outside, phone recording again. Fish factory? I say, it's one boat, Eleanor. My boat on my dock. She spins to the crowd. Do you want diesel fumes in your air? That's cluttering your views. A few nod, but an older guy, Frank, ex-Marine, I later learn pipes up. Lady, he's got a right to his boat. Eleanor snaps. Not when it ruins our community. I step closer, voice low but clear. Your community? Huh? What about the Parkers, finding a bankruptcy over a kid's tricycle? Or the Lynns, who you harassed until they sold for pennies because their curry smelled too ethnic? The crowd stirs, whispers spreading. A woman, Maria Lopez, retired cop, pushes forward. Eleanor, you said the Lynns left for a job. What's he talking about? I hold up my phone. I've got Marcus's files, every fine, every letter, every dirty trick. And a contract, Eleanor, for a condo deal on this land, signed before Marcus died. Care to explain? The air shifts. Maria steps up, eyes like steel. I've been asking for HOA records for years, Eleanor. Always unavailable. I want to see those files. I nod. They'll be online by tonight. Eleanor shrieks. Those are private, but Maria shuts her down. HOA records are public under state law. You'd know that if you followed it. The crowd's splitting now, some still loyal to Eleanor, others starting to see the cracks. A young couple, the Wilsons, speak up. The Lynns were our friends. You said they left willingly. Stories pour out fines for invisible infractions, threats, families pushed out one by one. Eleanor's losing her grip, and she knows it. She storms off, yelling, You'll regret this, Caldwell. That night, Maria and I plan to move. My boat's got gear most navies would envy: laser mics, drones disguised as gulls, sonar that can spot a coin on the ocean floor. Eleanor's meeting Victor Kane on his yacht, King's Gambit, in international waters, thinking they're untouchable. They're wrong. We sail out under cover of fog, the salty dawn purring at a deceptive 5 knots. Maria's jaw drops as my screens light up thermal imaging, satellite feeds, the works. Marcus really hooked you up, she says. I grin. He knew information's the real weapon. We anchor half a mile from Kane's yacht, my gear picking up every word. Eleanor's voice crackles through. Caldwell's a problem. He's got Marcus's files. Kane, all gravel and whiskey, replies. Then we handle him like Marcus. House fire tonight. Old wiring, tragic accident. Maria grabs my arm. That's conspiracy to murder. I nod, heart pounding. And we got on tape. Kane's men are already at my house. I know it's security alerts flashing on my phone, glass breaking in the study. I fire up the Salty Dawn's real engines, 300 horsepower roaring to life, hitting 35 knots as we scream back to shore. Maria's on with the Coast Guard, yelling about a crime in progress. I call an old friend, Jake, ex-SEAL, who owes me for finding his dad's lost boat years ago. Need you at my place now, I say. Arsonists. He's there in 5, his crew swarming my house as we pull up. We smell gasoline before we see it, 2 guys in black dousing the floors. Maria's got her old service pistol out, barking, Federal agent, freeze. One reaches for a lighter. I take him down with a chokehold, muscle memory from my Navy days kicking in. The other tries to bolt, but Maria drops him with a move so smooth, it's almost casual. Jake's team clears the house, finding 2 more outside rigging explosives to collapse it into the sea. Cops and feds roll in, cuffing the lot. The Coast Guard snags Kane's yacht. Eleanor's arrested at her mansion, screaming as her perfect hair falls apart. By dawn, it's over. Kane's operation, a murder-for-hire ring masked as real estate unravels. 7 deaths, millions laundered, all tied to Eleanor's HOA schemes. Marcus's files blow it wide open, exposing her as the puppet master, picking targets for Kane to eliminate. I'm exhausted, standing on my dock as the sun rises, Sergeant Carter beside me. "You're lucky to be alive," she says. "Marcus wasn't," I reply, voice heavy. "But he got them, through you," she says. Maria joins us, grinning. FBI's calling this the biggest HOA corruption case they've seen. "You're testifying for months." I shrug, looking at my scarred but standing house. "I've got time." Crescent Cove changes after that. Maria is elected HOA president, voids every fine Eleanor ever issued, invites back families like the Lynns and Parkers. The truth about me comes out former Navy intel. Now a private investigator for maritime fraud, the fishing just a cover that lets me slip through coastal towns unnoticed. But I still fish. It's my peace, my reset. We hold a memorial for Marcus, the whole town showing up, sharing stories of his kindness, his fight for fairness. I tell them about the Santa Rosa, how he split the fortune without hesitation, how he died protecting this place from predators like Eleanor. Months later, Vincent, Eleanor's cousin, shows up at my dock, looking like a kicked dog. He handed me a check, $4,500, the fake fines he tried to slap me with. "Keep it," I say. "Donate it to the victim's fund." He nods, voice shaky. I testified against her. She used me, but I let her. I'm teaching boat safety now, trying to make it right. I watch him go, thinking about redemption, how some find it, how Eleanor never will her prison letters still claim she was protecting the community. Kane's gone, dead in custody, his secrets buried. Marcus's niece, a marine biology grad, uses my dock now, studying the sea like he did. I'm teaching her salvage, passing on what Marcus gave me. Victory isn't the arrests or the headlines. It's the quiet moments. The community garden where Eleanor wanted condos. Kids learning to swim on the beach she tried to steal. Neighbors laughing together instead of living in fear. I'm back on a salty dawn, prepping for a new case, but I pause, watching the sunset paint the water gold. Eleanor thought I didn't belong, and she was right not in her world of greed and control. This Crescent Cove, built on justice and second chances, that's my home. Marcus's home. So, tell me that's the craziest thing your HOA or neighbors ever pulled. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Who's faced a bully like Eleanor, and how do you fight back? Or maybe you've got a story about someone standing up for what's right. Share it, because sometimes one person saying enough can change everything.